and welcome to this video and my channel. Seeing as this is going to be my first video probably here, I'm going to give you a small introduction, nothing too exciting of course. My name is Kaya and I am a 22, soon 23 student who's currently living in London. Although I am from Norway, I am Norwegian. So my idea for the channel is to have mostly focus on the life as a foreign student in the UK, as well as just whatever else catches my interest, which is a lot. So for this video I'm going to talk about basically the entire process of traveling to the UK, if you're a student or not, but from my perspective it's going to be as a student. So to kind of get into the main part of it, there's a lot of paperwork that needs to be done before you can get through the borderline security in the UK, and I'm just going to go through like the top 3 things that are really important to know and have ready in good time before you travel, and kind of also the tricky aspect of it, because not everything, for me at least, it could just be me not paying enough attention, but not everything on the UK government website was as clear to me, and most of it I figured out like last minute, which yeah, that's definitely room for improvement there. So the 3 things I'm going to go over that you need. So as for the documentations and stuff you need, like paperwork you need to get done and have prepared before you travel, is proof of a negative test. You need your passenger locator form, as well as a pre-ordered home test. So I'm going to go through each one of those more in detail. The first part of documentation that you need before you can actually enter the country without having to pay a massive fee is the proof of a negative test. Now this test has to be taken 72 hours before you travel. So what that means is you have to count 72 hours from the time you're supposed to land in the UK. I didn't know this. Well, I knew I had to take the test 3 days before arriving to the UK, but I didn't know that it was as specific as 72 hours like before the time, like exactly before the time I'm landing in the UK. So don't be like me and risk it. I was 1 minute away from the test not being accepted. So make sure to like really look into the dates and times of when your testing center is open and what fits best with your schedule and when you can travel. Another thing about this test is you need to provide the test result in either English, Spanish or French, though English is preferable. How I did this, because I'm Norwegian of course, so the test result is going to come out in Norwegian. I had to go to my, local medical center, I suppose that's what it's called, something similar to that. They will let you know at the test location where you can get it printed out, by the way. I went there and all you have to do is ask for the English version of your test. Then that's fine, that's all good to go. The second thing that is a bit more complicated and requires a lot more information is your travel locator form. Now for your travel locator form, this is something you have to fill in before you travel. And information you get, by the way, I'm reading a script, I'm not. So basically the information you need to give there is everything that has to do with your travel, like where you've been before, when you're traveling, when you're landing, how long you're planning to stay in the UK. It would also ask for your passport and like if you have residence or if there's anyone you where you're staying. Like for me, I'm staying at a house share, like a flat share. You have to fill in the address as well as your phone number, and like it's very easily attainable information that you can put in there. But one thing that I didn't know about until I was about to fill in the form was that you need to pre-order a stay-at-home test kit, which I'll get more into that. But before I move to that, basically when you finish your travel locator form, even though you probably have it available on your phone to scan the QR code, I strongly suggest that you print it out in paper, just in case things shouldn't go your way, because you can never 100% trust that your phone is going to work, is going to be filled with battery, or that it's not going to crash when you're standing there having to search your information. By the way, I'll leave links to anything that's like important or informative for these documentations in the description down below. So in order to complete your travel locator form, you have to order a at-home testing kit before you travel, because the locator form is going to ask for what is it called? Right, you need to put in the reference number as well as the company in which you ordered the test from. Now, on the government's website, there's going to be a list of different like companies and organizations that do provide these tests, that are like, you know, they guarantee to give you the test. They're going to give you what you're paying for, which I should say the test is kind of expensive. I'll leave the prices here. I got the cheapest one, took it this day. It was not very fun, but it's necessary. Like, you just have to do it. So the test is basically for your 2nd and 8th day of quarantine. Also, another thing, apparently that it's been a lot of scammers who's been tricking especially students into buying cheaper test kits which are not approved, and there's probably nothing that's going to come out your door. You're just going to throw your window out. Basically, if you pay for this, you're more or less just throwing your money out the window, so it is a bit more expensive. But ordering one of the tests that are guaranteed to be safe and legit, that are on the website, it's what you basically have to do anyway. But at the borderland security, they will not just ask for your reference number, so you have to, it's definitely advised that you order this test a few days before you travel, so you're sure that you will get the receipt and like you can show them that you actually bought it, because apparently there's been quite a few people who just put in one of the company names and a random reference number without actually having paid for the test. So be sure to have that prepared before you leave your country. So now that you've got all the documents done, you got your passport information, you got your locator form, you got your test pre-ordered and the one you've already taken, that's all good. The flight itself and the stay at the airport is, well, for me at least, was not stressful. It wasn't that different. Only thing is there were hardly anyone at the airport. It kind of felt like a ghost airport, which was kind of, it was nice because there was no queue, but it was also kind of confusing. So that entire process is completely fine. When you land in the UK, however, I landed at Heathrow, which I think is one of the biggest airports. You are likely going to be met with a queue, not as big as it would be usually because fewer people are traveling, as they should. There's going to be a queue and you have to have these documentations like ready. Documentations, I can't speak. Documents ready before you go into the queue, so you don't have to like keep up everyone like waiting longer than needed. Now, me being myself, I've been watching way too much borderline security programs. My anxiety is through the roof now where I'm about to go through the security controls, like the passport controls and stuff in my destined country. And suddenly jumping in a tiny story time. If you don't want to see this, just skip to this part. But basically, like I mentioned earlier, the test I got, it was like just within the minute of being accepted. And the thing is, for me at least, they check these documents at the airport I'm traveling from before I go through the passport, before I go through like security and control, anything, just in case something doesn't match up. So like, you're not standing there and suddenly, oh yeah, I can't board this plane, and have to go all back. And at the first airport, I was traveling from Bergen, my city. They were like, yeah, this is fine, this will be okay. But when I get to Oslo, which is my second stop, just as I'm about to go to my gate, right? He looks at it, he's like, this doesn't look really correct, because most of the test paper was in Norwegian, but at the bottom it said I tested negative. And he was like, well, it's not completely in English, so you might get in trouble for this. I'm like, you telling, like, I'm being told this now? And I'm standing there thinking, what do I do? And the thing is, I had a 2-hour flight, which is not much, but usually as I travel early in the morning, I prefer using those 2 hours to sleep. But in this case, I was sitting awake for 2 hours thinking about every other like way I could document this being in English, like being a legit test. So I was sitting there and I was like, oh my goodness, what do I do? What do I do? And before I got on the plane, I tried to go to the website, like the national like health website, I guess, where you can see the test results. And I was taking like so many screenshots of any translated versions of it. And I was standing in a queue and I was preparing, like when I was off the plane, I was preparing what to say in case they were like, huh, like kind of getting suspicious of it. The second I get to the passport control, like the control where they go through all the documents, I'm not sure if it's because I got one of the nicest guys ever to look through it, but he was like, yeah, this looks completely fine, like you're good to go. The only thing he asked for was the receipt for my pre-ordered at-home test. I was like, oh yeah, that's it. I had nothing to stress about. So don't be like me, don't over stress those things, and really have this done in good time before you go. This could also just be me being an overly stressed person and imagining the worst possible scenarios for everything. So going on to when you're at your place, whether this is a quarantine hotel or your own like address, like if it's a student flat or like house share, you get what I mean. So your test, for me, my test could be tracked with Royal Mail. It did not arrive on or before my second day, which again, another thing that stressed me out. But usually, if things goes as planned, you will get the test for the second day, and I don't think you personally can go and deliver it. I didn't do it. I was so lucky as to get someone I live with to deliver it for me. You will get your test, and it's basically, for me at least, I had to use the swab, like to stick it in the back of my throat and up my nose. It's not nice, but if you're just careful and follow the instructions, it takes really no time. And I'm still waiting for my results. Basically, once that's done, you follow the instruction, put it back into this like test tube thing, and you will get your result within 24 to 48 hours, I think. I don't know if the instructions are the exact same depending on where you're ordering your test from. I would suspect it is. So that's really like the easiest part of this entire travel. You will also most likely get a call from, I don't know exactly what they call it, but basically you get a call from the people who make sure that you're following whatever you stated in your passenger locator form. It's no stress really, just say like, yeah, I'm staying at my address, I'm following the quarantine rules, which you have to quarantine for 10 days. And the quarantine dates, like the date, I can't speak. That's my laundry. So basically, the day you land counts as day 0, and for me, I landed on Monday. So Monday was day 0, and Tuesday would be the first day of my current quarantine. So I would have to take the test on a Wednesday. And from that day on, you kind of count your quarantine. If your test, however, comes back positive, you have to add 14 days. I think whether it's 14 or 10 days, it kind of also depends what country you're coming from or which country you're flying through. So make sure to like check that before you arrive. So currently I'm still in quarantine, and I think I covered most information that is, good to know before you travel, good to have in the back of your mind. So basically, yeah, fill in document, your negative test, your passenger locator form, and your pre-ordered home test. All should be good and done. Have your documents ready. and try not to be as stressed as I do, because that helps nothing. Which, no, it's easy to say. If you're a stressed person, you know, stressing about this is not gonna, it's just ridiculous. But are you gonna stop? Probably not. So yeah, only thing I can say about quarantine is it's kind of boring, but you know, it gives you a lot of more time to be productive. Not that you can really go anywhere else after quarantine. So yeah, I'll most likely make a different vlog, I guess, on what I'm doing during quarantine. I did not film my first, what's that, 4 days of quarantine, which basically I just studied. But yeah, I'll keep that for another video. So if you made it through this entire chaotic video, congrats. And thank you for watching it. And if you're interested in more videos about kind of student life and life in London and whatever else I'm coming up with later, subscribe if you want to, and give this video a thumbs up and a comment on what you think about it. If you find there's anything I missed out in here, let me know. As well as if you have traveled or you're going to travel, feel free to share your experience so others can also learn from it and read it. And I don't know, make this tiny community for students trying to, you know, just get back to our universities. So yeah, I think that's it. I think that's me finishing my first ever video. What? So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one, which will be probably at the end of my quarantine, so next week. Yeah, bye.